Hey everybody, it's Jack and Dan.
And today we're doing an update on one of our Jack tanks.
Yeah, this is the second Jack tank that we did for Debbie. If you haven't seen that episode, we will put a link in the description. Basically, with all the coronavirus stuff going on, we weren't really able to do any additional Jack tanks, but we thought with it kind of coming to an end a little bit here and people going out a little more, that we would do some updates. And we did one on Kathy's a couple weeks ago, a 3-month update. This is now a 3-month update on Debbie's. As you can see behind us, we got lots of clematis. We came a few weeks ago and put this in. Some people have had issues with clematis in their ponds or tanks and things like that. I never have. I've used it for a long time. It can be toxic if you consume it in huge quantities. Actually, some of our descendants, Jack's great-great-grandfather, he was Native American, and they actually used it for a lot of medicinal purposes. And so, it just...
Medicine?
Yeah, they used it for medicine and certain things like that. So, I have not had any issues with the roots in fish tanks. We're going to see how this goes. This one has already started growing roots. As you can see, it's doing very well. And these guys will come up, and these will turn into nice big purple flowers up here. These vines are climbing. When we put them in, they were only down to there. They're already climbing up real good. All those vines go down to that in that main vase there. And then this is an old liquor cabinet that she had that we ended up turning into a stand. Again, we'll put the link in the description of when we did that video. We did put some under gravel lights there and an under gravel filter. And it's really kind of cool how we worked all that out. It has a remote, and we're going to show you how all that works too. So let's turn these lights off here so you can see really good. All right, so there's a little bit of some particles floating around because we were messing around with it a little bit since we were here. We did put a couple of plants next to just some artificial plants just to kind of fill in the background a little bit next to the driftwood that we put there to kind of cover up the columns, and of course the heater's back behind that. And then we did the same thing over here. And she had a male beta named Pierre. Unfortunately, Pierre did pass away. He was about 3.5 years old or something like that, and we knew he was on his last pretty much leg, but
Or fin.
his last fin. But we gave him a really nice home on his way out. He was just living in one of those little beta cube type of things, and so we had this old kind of 20-gallon that we made here. So we just did kind of a red and green gravel. We put it up on some tile as usual, and we left some of the under gravel grids out. And again, if you haven't seen that video, it's very cool the way we kind of figured this out. And then we put lights underneath the tank, little LEDs that shine up, and of course there's a remote to that. And Jack will change the colors and stuff for you so you can kind of see how that all works. Point it over here at the eye. There you go. So yeah, you can change the colors to any color that you want. Or you can have it on a slow color change, and it just gives a neat thing. She didn't really want a top light up here because it gets so much sunlight from the window. She didn't think it was necessary, so she said, you know what, I'm just going to do the under gravel lights. And by doing these what these are basically hurricanes that they use for candles, very similar to what we used to make the Aqua Bridge for Jack's tank. We just put PVC on the end. Go ahead and just leave it all white now so I can just see real good. And so basically what happened is when you put these down to the bottom and you put a light underneath them, the light shines up through them. The cool part is, too, by using a hurricane instead of a vase or some kind of glass structure, is the plecos are then able to go down and clean that bottom so that you never really have to clean it. And you can see that there's all kind of little pleco bite marks all over here. See those tiny little things of algae there? Pretty cool. So even though this thing's by the window and even though it gets all the sunlight, there's a little, and you can kind of see her there, there's a little female, let me see if I can get a close-up of her, a little female albino bristlenose platy. There she is. You can kind of see her there on the side of the driftwood. Pretty good sized, and she's doing a great job of cleaning everything in here. We may find her a male to see if they want to breed. And as you can see, the guppies that we put in here started having babies, so there's babies everywhere. Now we put the cobra guppies in, females and males. Jack keeps changing the lights while I'm talking here. The females and males in that. But we decided, we brought a couple more of these I believe they're the orange sunset ones. She wanted a couple more guppies, so we brought her a couple more guppies since the beta died. She's also got some golden snails from us that we brought. Oh, you can see one right there at the edge of the glass. They're helping to keep the glass clean too. So I did recommend to her that she probably should try to not leave these on all the time, but she loves how it looks and she kind of forgets about it. They're doing a pretty good job. Oh, he's got the disco lights going now. They're doing a pretty good job of keeping up with it, but you know, I mean, it just help a little bit. There are a couple little clown plecos too, but they pretty much hang out behind the driftwood like most clown plecos do. There's two of them that hang out back there. She is working on a painting for the back here. Just with the virus and everything being so busy, she hasn't had a chance to do it yet. She is a painter, and you'll see.
I like this one. It's very cool. It's got like the red back to it, and that one right there.
You're talking about the guppies.
Yeah, the guppies.
Yeah, those are the sunset, I
Silver
believe.
and red.
Very, very nice. Very nice. So she'll continue to have babies in that. And if she gets too many, we could, you know, take some or whatever for some of our tanks. But look at all this huge root system that is just growing down into this vase. And the cool part is then the babies can kind of go down in here and hide. You'll see some of them down in there. And Jack just playing with the lights the whole time I'm talking.
If it's nighttime, you can make it smoother so it's not so bright.
Right, yeah, you can turn it down or you can turn it up. The other thing you'll notice here is this young lady, we decided to get her a new beta that looks very much like Pierre, kind of like a red, white, and blue crown tail. But we got her a girl instead because she said Pierre kind of eating a lot of the babies, which is going to happen, but was a little more aggressive to the guppies, and we thought the female might not be as much. So we got her female one, and she really likes her too. She's kind of hanging out up there in the corner right now, but probably because Jack was playing with the lights. But she comes out pretty good. So she's just got kind of like a little female beta and guppies and snails and plecos, and she loves this tank. She's like, she's funny because it's next to this real big screen TV she's got over here, and she's like, I find myself turning and looking at the tank more than the TV most of the time. You know, just watching them swim around. And she really likes watching the pleco go and clean all the glass all the time. And she's like, she's such a busybody. There she is right there on the driftwood. You could tell she's doing pretty well. She's got a pretty good size to her. So again, we may get a male and see if they breed. Maybe put a little cave or something in here. But we kind of left the front open up. She really just likes the roots. Chances are a lot of those roots, too, are going to start growing outside of the glass. It just gives it a certain kind of look and a certain kind of ambiance that you just can't get with top lighting. And honestly, these things are so inexpensive these days, these little LED pucks, and they come with these remotes. And it's really cool to be able to change the colors. She said that they really go in this column a lot, and the babies go down there, and that'll all fill with roots, but they'll still be able to go in there, and the snails will clean it.
They're kind of like tadpoles.
Yeah, the little babies, yeah. She was very excited to see babies. So these babies are a couple weeks old already. They're doing really well, and she's just very happy with how this whole thing is going. Let me turn the big lights back on, and we'll take a look at it. Now I'm going to pan back here, just to give you an idea. One of the ideas we ran by her is this is her TV room here. She is thinking, this is just something that we were talking about tonight, of getting another one over here and possibly having these vines crawl up of this tank, crawl up of that tank, and then meet in the middle and go all the way filling this wall, going over the TV. How cool would that be, huh?
That would be neat.
That would be super awesome. And then, of course, possibly an aqua bridge of some sort. So, you know, there's always, you know how we are. We're always thinking of fun stuff to do. It just depends on what people want to do. But, yeah, we're really happy how this came out. She just loves it. I think that overall, it's really fun. The guppies really enjoy kind of going in here. Now, Jack refers to these as the basement when we do these under gravel lights because, yeah, so it goes down a couple inches into that gravel, and a lot of times the fish will go down in there and hang out. It's kind of like being in the basement, like he says. So, and some are deeper than others depending on how we make them. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, Debbie loves it. She is so stoked about it. She's like, you know, I had this tiny little, half-gallon beta tank, and she's glad that Pierre was able to live the end of his life in a wonderful home that he enjoyed and had a little more room and happiness in, and we are too. And so now she has a new one. She's trying to think of a name. What name did you want to name this?
Babette.
Babette, another French name. So she's going to name this new female beta that took over for Pierre Babette. So that's
Kinda
pretty
sounds
neat.
like baguette.
So let us know in the comments if you were interested in getting your tank jacked. Let us know. I mean, we live in Cleveland, so if you live in that kind of area, we kind of like to help people get some new ideas with their aquariums. Possibly that they maybe you got an aquarium you're bored with, or you want to kind of upsize it, or you want to try some new lighting effects or whatever. Let us know, and we'll see what we can do. Be sure again to subscribe for future notifications, and hit the bell, right?
Yes.
And check out some of our other videos. And again, I'll put this initial video from 3 months ago when we made this whole thing in the description. We'll see you next time, guys. Be safe and be well.
Bye-bye.